Hi, I'm Ashton, and it's time for another Q&A, I guess, because I asked for questions in the previous video, and boy did I get some responses. A couple orders of business, per se, before I get started. One, I did get a lot of questions, and I'm going to split this into two parts. This video, and I'm going to publish another one of a coming out Q&A, because a lot of the questions that I got were related to coming out and being out, so I'll put those in a separate video and that'll be up whenever. I'll probably know when that's up once I publish this, so I'll put that in the description. If you asked a question that I don't answer in this video, it's either in that coming out Q&A, or I answered it in my previous Q&A. So go look at that if you think I missed you. I promise I've probably either answered that question before or I'm saving it for... Yeah, and the third thing is, some of you already know this if you followed me on my art Instagram, but I have another Instagram now that's more like a personal / this related. So yes, that Instagram exists now. It's Ashton, and I'll link that now in every video, as well as my art page. So pick and choose what you want to look at. The end of housekeeping things. Let's move on to the actual thing that I made this video to do. Also, if I seem a bit like talking funny, I just got a crown put in my tooth, so my mouth's a bit sore. Akaylee6 asked, will I dye my hair anytime soon, and if so, what color? This is a good question because you know I've dyed my hair before. I've done teal since I've had this channel, but before that I've done too many colors to actually put here. But my favorites were purple and red. I love having dyed hair and I do want to do it again, but I think I'm going to bleach my hair soon, just the top of my mohawk thingy. There were a lot of questions about my hair. I'm going to do a video on like my first boy haircut, and I might also answer some questions there that I commonly get asked about this situation. I know my hair is a complete mess right now. And if I do dye it, I miss purple, so I do want to do that, but there's also this like dye that changes under heat that I'm looking into. Like it changes colors, which sounds really cool, but I did like purple and I did like red, but I also really loved blue. Kix asked, am I in the path of Hurricane Irma? Stay safe if so. That's a good question. I should probably know the answer to that. It turns out that yes, I am possibly in the path. I'm in like a moderate path, so I probably won't die. Don't worry about it. Seriously, do not worry about me ever, please. It makes me feel bad. I will stay safe, I promise. Thanks for asking this question, actually, because otherwise I probably wouldn't have looked that up. Really, though, don't worry about it. Lydia Marie asked, how do you talk to a friend that is depressed and has bad anxiety and self-harm and you think is developing an eating disorder? This is a good question, and I'm glad you asked this because I want to do a video on it. So that'll be happening at some point. Maybe it already has happened by the time this video goes up. I'm so sorry. But quick advice for right now, I would say get them to a medical professional. If it means telling their parents, if it means telling their wife, husband, significant other, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, just let someone that's close to them know. And if you're the one that's close to them, please encourage them to see a licensed psychologist, because oftentimes when you're mentally ill, you don't feel like you deserve the help you need. Though, I'm trying to give advice. Even if it goes against what your friend wants, doing what's best for them will always be the best option. They may be mad at you for a little bit. When my friends told my parents, I was at first, but in the long run, I've forgiven them, and I know that they're good friends because they did tell my parents. Save Bendy asked, how much do you like glitter? I do love glitter, a lot. How much do I like glitter? You know how some people say to the moon and back? I like glitter to the sun and back. Anne Murphy asked, would you rather be a human with a giraffe neck or a giraffe with a human neck? I have thought about this for like, ever since this comment was posted, which was 2 days ago, and it's a very good question. I'm not sure because I've never had an experience related to either of those. I suppose if I had a giraffe neck, I'd be able to wear a lot of chokers, which would be cool, and it would also probably be like soft and patterned. So I think I'd choose that one, even though either one would be like a quite unfavorable situation. Alias asked quite a few questions, and a few of them I will be saving for the coming out Q&A. How often are you misgendered? 60-40. 60% of the time I'd say in public I'm misgendered correctly. I'm gendered correctly, but 40% of the time I'll get like ladies, ma'am, stuff like that. People I know rarely misgender me. When they do, they generally apologize immediately. Teachers misgender me a lot, but I always correct them and eventually they get it. Dogs or cats? Very important. Yes. What affects hurts you the most as a trans guy? Examples: misgendering, dysphoria, waiting times, not being able to choose between cats and dogs. Not being able to choose between cats and dogs is definitely the hardest thing, especially as a trans guy. I think I would say dysphoria and waiting times. You nailed it on the head with that list there. I'm going to probably do videos about dysphoria and waiting times in the future. There's so many things I gotta film. Favorite bands. And under this sweatshirt, I'm wearing an Against Me shirt. Classic Ashton. Yeah, so Against Me, MCR, but recently I've been more into harder bands like Against Me, Bad Religion, Bad Cop, Bad Cop. I like The Cure, I like Black Flag. Where am I hoping that my YouTube channel heads and any future plans? I honestly don't know. When I started this, I didn't have any plans other than to try and help people. And I think I just want to continue that. You know, I don't have any, like, I want to be sponsored by this company or I want to reach this many subscribers. This is more a thing to let myself express me and help others in the process. If I could collab with any YouTuber, who would it be? Definitely Steph Sanyati, just off the top of my head. She's amazing and I love her. And I've been watching her for years. Other than that, also possibly Miles McKenna, because he's like amazing, and he came out as trans like years after I did, but his videos still inspired me, and even though they're all so silly, he just seems like a really fun person to hang around. If I could have you guys take any one lesson from me, this is a really tough one because I feel like with every video I put out, I'm like, here's more advice from your trans dad. Apparently I'm your dad now. Self-love is a long process that can take a long time to accept yourself, but it's the first step in a lot of things, and improving your mental health, dealing with being trans or gay or any part of the LGBT community. It can take a long time, but take your time and take care of yourself, and don't be afraid to ask for help. And I'm going on and on. This is not one message, this is like 10. I'm so sorry. If I had to give up my boyfriend or my favorite food, which would I save? Definitely my boyfriend. I don't know what my favorite food is, but I'm sure I could give it up. And they also said that I could do boyfriend Q&A, which does sound like fun. If you want me to do that, let me know. I'm sure Jack would be up for it. He loves filming with me, and it's really fun to film with him, so that might happen. And finally, ALS Howlis asked, if you could choose not to have one of your mental illnesses, which would you choose if you chose one at all? This is also a really good question. This person has a lot of good questions. Like, please stop. Don't actually stop, it's great. This is a tough one because as I get better at handling my mental health and mental illnesses, they're becoming more of a part of me than a struggle. And, you know, I will always have OCD tendencies. I will always have relapses into depression and anxiety, and I may even have autism, I'm not entirely sure. But I feel like if I could, I would give up. I would, like, take away my anxiety, because it has definitely caused me more harm than it has shaped my personality, whereas my OCD and my depression and likely autism do more shape who I am. Does that make sense? I Could Hold the Sun asked, if you were a trash bag, what trash would you want to be filled with? I'm not sure, like, what are the types of trash? I think I would go for party supplies, because that's like glitter and confetti and streamers, right? Like, party supplies, trash bag full of glitter. I already am a trash bag full of glitter. I actually don't know what my first memory is. I've like thought about it for 10 minutes sitting here filming, and I do not know. I'm very sorry. What career path am I thinking about following? Ideally, I would love to be an activist. I guess I already am in some aspects. Realistically, I'm probably going to go for a science degree with an art minor. I would love to work in physics or biology or maybe even psychology. And any advice for creating a YouTube channel, I guess. Well, clearly since you commented, you've already got the channel part down, so my first piece of advice is always like go explore the YouTube settings, because there's like a lot more in there than I knew about for the first like 3 years that I had an account. So explore that. When you're publishing videos, use the appropriate tags, because some popular YouTubers will use like unrelated tags, but I don't know, that just annoys me. So like tag with your name and the topics in the video and stuff like that. Just use them well and use them appropriately. This is a good one. Enlight asked, why in the titles of videos do people type trans with an asterisk, like trans asterisk? Is that a good asterisk? That's not a good asterisk. I'll put a picture up on the screen. I don't know why I tried to do that with my hands. This is a really good question, because it was more commonly used a few years back, and now it is not as widely used, although a lot of people still do use it, and they don't know why not to use it. Personally, I never use it. I just say trans, because why would you add the asterisk? Some people use the asterisk because they assume that it's more inclusive, when in reality it often actually pushes people out of the community. I'm going to link an article in the description that changed my mind when I read it, and I would recommend so I would recommend that. I'm thinking about doing a full video on the trans asterisk, because you're right, I do see it a lot in titles of videos, but it's not really the right way to refer to trans people. And finally, Michael asked, what is your favorite subject in school? Physics or music theory. I really like both of them. Those are both classes I'm taking now. But, like, in general, science. So, thank you guys for all the questions. I enjoyed filming this. If I missed you, I'm very sorry. You will very likely be in the coming out Q&A. Yeah, so that's all. Thank you. I love you. Goodbye. Have a magical rest of your day. Have a sparkly, glittery rest of your day. And I will talk to you later. Maybe.